Okay, could you introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name's Albert Busby. Very rarely referred to as Albert. Everybody calls me Matt, for obvious reasons. And I was born in Pericommon in 1939.
Great. And what are your earliest recollections of living there?
Oh, crumbs. Oh, vivid recollections. I've been in the air raid shelter. We had an air raid shelter built halfway up the garden at 234 Dovedale Road. Built presumably by my grandfather and his son, my Uncle George, and my dad. But next doors was Mrs. White, who lived at 236, I think it was. They had a shelter quite close to the back door, and we invariably ended up in their shelter rather than ours. And I can always remember being carried to the air raid shelter by my mum, but I never ever remember being carried back out of it. So I must have been asleep when I was carried out. My vivid recollection of that time was sitting in the air raid shelter in total darkness. We didn't have a light in there, and all I could see was the brief outline in the gloom of Mum and Mrs. White and their daughter Grace, who was a few years older than me. And I can remember the sirens going off to want us to go into the shelters and being carried down there. So I never remember being carried back out. And they are vivid memories. I mean, and I could not only have been, well, I was a baby in arms, really, until I was, perhaps the war went until I was about 4 years of age. But it's always remained a vivid memory with me. And I can remember standing on the gate of the house with my granddad. But my grandfather was an ARP, and I can often remember saying to him on 2 occasions, "Do you think we should have a raid tonight, Grandad?" You know, and things like that. And it was normal for me. I wasn't frightened or anything because it was the norm. I'd never known anything else. The street lights were the lampposts were there, but the tops had been taken off. So the whole street, the whole area was in darkness, and I can remember.
Blackout.
Yes, and I can remember on the College Road, just past Dovedale Road, by the stream, Pericommon Brook, there is a council yard. It's probably still there, and I can remember walking past that. My grandfather worked there as a bricklayer, actually. Walking past that as a youngster and seeing a whole sea of gas tops off the lampposts. They were stored there for the duration of the war.
I wonder why they took them off. Why didn't just turn them off?
I don't know. Which they could have done quite easily, I would have thought. They were just, yes, but no, they were all taken down and removed to a place of safety.
Right.
And I can remember my mum calling me to the front door to see them being put back on again in 1946.
Right.
And remember them being lit for the first time. I haven't seen street lighting before like that. And a common sight was to see people, men mainly, shitting up a gas lamp to light their cigarettes. That was something else I remember vividly. I mean, something that doesn't happen now. But then there's so many things that happen then that don't happen now, you know.
Incredible.
Yeah. But shitting up a gas lamp to light your cigarettes seems to be a regular thing to me.
Right. Would have saved on matches, I guess.
Well, I don't suppose people want to buy them, you know.
Eyebrows or...
Yes, that's right. I remember that distinctly.